What's up and welcome. Today I am again joined by Ham, Freddy, and Garrett. First off, I just want to check in with Freddy after a crazy week. What did you think of the results this week?
NCP.
I agree.
The downshift is crazy.
I don't know what came over me there. I just felt so excited that I had to let out my inner monk.
Yeah.
I apologize profusely. Like I said, I don't know what came over me.
Sometimes you just gotta rahiha.
You just
But
gotta let it out.
we actually did have what I think is the craziest week of results that we've ever had. This was the first time that we had a majority of wins, let alone the facts that we had 6 wins. So the table has been completely shaken up going into our final weeks. So let's go ahead and just get into results. The first game of the week was um, Tottenham Hotspur versus Donkey's Nuts. It was Hamilton and I running a complete mirror match.
You just laugh at your own name, Hamilton.
Yeah. It's a good name.
But Hamilton, what did you think of our mirror match?
This is back-to-back weeks that I've played mirror matches, and so I'm just really looking forward to next week's mirror match against Grant. Don't know exactly how I'm gonna get the swaps together to get mirror matched in time, but just, lots of information gathered, and by that I mean no information gathered. And I'm really happy that it ended in a tie, because after losing the first game, I was worried about that.
I'm pretty sure that you were just one boo away from mirror matching Grant.
Oh, my bad. I was mixing up Grant and Adam again.
Yeah,
Uh,
you actually you could do it if you want. If you want zero data again, then you could. But I was
I don't
very
want zero data.
unsurprised to see this end in a tie. I mean, this is even more of a mirror matchup than you played against Freddy because our captains are pretty much the exact same, minus power ups, which there weren't many of in this game, and we played on the same map in both games. So it going to a tie was not very surprising from my perspective. It I am actually very frustrated on your behalf, Hamilton, because I don't know what to make of this game going forward. Because we're getting to crunch time every week. Like your one sidekick change is so important, and I really don't know whether or not I want to rerun this team or if I want to make a shift. So I just want to apologize that you've had to do this back to back weeks.
It makes me feel like I'm on the cutting edge of the quote unquote meta, you know? Like, someone's got to be trying stuff, and it's good to see that someone else is trying the same things as me.
Yeah, and I mean, both teams look good, and I'm not sure if Wasteland looks quite as great for PD and DK, especially PD did not have a great performance. Waluigi in general, I think looks better on this map. So I think that we have both have good ideas, but I also think there is room for both of us to improve.
Yeah,
Um, but
absolutely.
overall, not the most memorable game of the week, and it kind of felt like a foregone conclusion. It was pretty much just dry bone skill shots. Strangely enough, not that many teleport goals.
Yeah.
Um, Second game of the week was pretty funny because Hamilton and David were visiting me this week, and I could just hear David screaming from the other room at this. It was a painful game. In both games, David went up early, and then Grant's team they just score so many goals and just slowly clawed them back. Um, Last week we had Bowser Jr. alone in S tier. Garrett, how do you feel about that after this week?
I think we got a couple S tiers we gotta add. That ship goal is nuts too.
Yeah, first one of the year.
Yeah, it was. It was wonderful. Bowser Jr. I think after the resilience I saw displayed in this match going down early. Was this a double Thunder Island match as well? Or what was the first
Match
match?
match two was on the dump.
The
This is match
dump. So
one.
again, exactly, just places where there's a ton of adversity and map obstacles, and despite going down early, Bowser Jr. just did what Bowser Jr. always does. came up in clutch and scored goals when they mattered.
Look at
And
this.
this back tap boo goal
It's so
was,
so so
again,
sick.
what started it all. Things like that, you know?
I think that
It's
is a really good point. Bowser Jr.'s map pick for the entire season has been Thunder Island, which in theory should inject more randomness, but it really doesn't seem to affect them. So
controlled chaos.
that's even scarier. You know, if that changes, I don't know if Grant will ever make a map pick, but you know, in the postseason, teams will be able to ban maps. So
Oh,
if
trust me, I'm thinking about it.
but do you want to take this team like to the Vice or to the classroom? Because I really don't know. I think I'd rather go to Thunder Island where there's at least periods of time where Bowser Jr. is off the field because he is just a constant threat.
I
Um,
think there-
game
Mhm.
three, Garrett versus Shell.
That's something we need to talk
This
about now.
this game is gonna go down in the history books. I think it was the most goals ever seen by a team, and obviously with that tied the combined single game record. Not really thanks to Shell. Um, how are the vibes in Flower Power Camp, Garrett?
Absolutely unbelievable. And I'm happy for Daisy. I really am, but it wasn't the right fit. And 9 goals in one game, just cutting the goal differential in half in 4 minutes.
I was just looking. It wasn't
Um,
even like truly four because they went like a full minute just about
I
without
was just,
scoring. So
yeah,
they
it was
got
there were
nine in
9
practically three.
goals. 9 goals in 3 minutes. And I'm just, if that is what this team can do when it's a bunch of slow, sludgy, just, people trying to earn a seat at the table kind of thing in this matchup. Because this matchup was all about, we needed to win. Don't get me wrong. But this matchup was indeed just okay, now that we have a proper captain, who's the dead weight? And we've identified it, and we're making a change. And we're only going to get better, really.
You are going to make a change after this.
There will be a change.
That's
But
I don't think that's a bad call at all. Just because we're get, getting close to playoff time, and there's only so much room for you to optimize.
exactly.
One thing that Hammond, Dave, and I were talking about is your strength of schedule to finish out the season is actually really strong.
It
Um,
is.
in the last couple weeks, so next week you play against Freddy, which is I believe a top five
Fred
team.
Austin, Fred Austin Grant, I think
Yeah,
is what it is, right? Yeah.
and realistically, you cannot afford to just grind out ties at this point. So
Yeah, I can't.
getting
Yeah.
this win against Shell was so big. But you're gonna
This
need
was,
to
I
put
think
it
it was
out in the
the last
future.
time.
Um,
This one was so big.
so Shell made the shocking choice to go triple hammer bro, despite Adam being now I believe the sole or maybe joint with Danny last place team in the league. Freddie, what are your
Check it
thoughts on
out.
triple hammer bro?
Um, I still think they still have offensive power, and will get and I still think that showed in my game against Adam. But defensively, there's just still nothing there. They offer tons offensively, but defense is just down to zero, absolutely. So if they had a defensive captain, that'd be something different. But there's just all offense. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I don't know what Shell's cooking there. Freddie, real quick, you made some sort of change where your audio got really quiet in between the last thing you said and the next thing you said, and I have you at max volume and you're still very
Is that
quiet.
did that fix it?
Yeah, that's way better.
Somehow
But
I knocked my mic below my chin.
okay,
Nice.
it's much better now. Sounds like the mic is back above the chin. But
Apologies.
yeah, no, I don't know what Shell was cooking here. Triple Hammer Bros. We'll get into your results later, but it was not
Yeah.
looking good, and Garrett's team absolutely exploited that. Next matchup, I think, is
Oh my
probably
gosh.
the biggest upset in SPL history.
Yeah.
We had the triple shy guys with Daisy taking on one of our, regular season front runners in Jacob and grinding out a win. Um, Hamilton, I know that you love to sing the praises of Mr. Monty, and sing the song. What do you think happened against a team that we really had like no stock in?
I I think that the balance of the Shy Guy and the speed of Daisy are a really good matchup against a very slow Jacob team in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to just move the ball effectively and able to put some in the back of the net. And we didn't anticipate it, but kudos to Eric for seeing this, I guess. I'm curious to see if it'll repeat next week, but I mean, a win is really all he needed. If he gets a couple more points, he should be into playoffs, and so we'll see how it all shakes out in the end.
Yeah, no, the gravity of this result cannot be understated. I mean, in the final weeks, he plays Adam, which, that'll be a very interesting matchup, a triple head to head that we've never seen before. And then he plays two other playoff contenders in the final week. But getting these 3 points before then is just so big. And I think that's a really good point that you highlighted. This Yoshi team, like, they score goals, but sometimes they just get shut out when the other team has remote speed just because they are all pretty slow. And also, too, they don't really have great ball movement. And so, whether or not that was a matchup check by Eric, I'm doubtful, but, he did build this team because he wanted, more defensive capabilities with Daisy. And the Shy Guys also just showed out. So that was absolutely massive for Eric. I think let's check the Preds here. Oh, that's the other week. I'm now confused. So
Wait,
I,
That's
this
the
is
right.
wrong.
That's the
Yeah,
right.
those are wrong.
These
I was about,
we all did not do as well in predictions as I thought.
we still didn't do bad, but
Yeah, but so that was we went yeah, we all still did well. I did less well now. But we went 0 for 4 on this pred, which just shows how big the plus minuses predicted were 4, 4, 3. Shouts out to Hamilton for picking the tie and saying that Eric would get bad data from this, but the data just was even worse than even he thought. So
Yeah.
I think you do deserve some credit for at least picking the tie in that.
Ty was honestly a hedge. I saw three people pick
Yeah.
the other pick, so I just went the other way. But
Yeah.
no one has to know. It's not like we're live.
Next game, really sad. Danny, has been fighting very hard this season. And now that a bunch of teams above him have gotten the win, he really needed to get something out of these two results against Jacob and Adam. And I don't remember too much. I thought that the games in this series were relatively close. Garrett, what do you make of spread triple option? This build that Danny has that's supposed to be optimized for the Sand Tomb.
There's a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of heart, but at the end of the day, the Sand Tomb kind of. I think I don't mean to be rude to the coach, but I do think that we had one good result, and I think we ran with it a little too far. So we kind of wrapped our season up with it, and then it just didn't work out the way that was planned.
He's gonna hear this and absolutely come at you.
No, I think he knows. To be fair, I do believe that he was in fact seen quoting after on last week while the trade was being made. I believe he said something along the lines of, "All right, that's it. We're drafting Wemby next year." I think so.
Yeah, I
Something
think
tells me that he isn't too optimistic about the rest of the season.
yeah, and I mean he is going to be in lottery pick territory just because I do not think
Yeah.
that he's gonna make the postseason. And I think also too it is a bit of an unfortunate lesson that someone had to learn that you can't really focus too hard on optimizing on one map just because if
Yep.
that leaves you susceptible on everything else, like every series you're playing 50% of the games not on that map. So someone had to try it, and I think that was a good strategy. Granted that he was going to need to get a lot of upsets, it just didn't pan out. His next series against Adam was absolute pain. I think in both of these games, so here I think I had this queued up pretty well. He was down by 1, not much time left on the clock. Oh no, this is the same series against Jacob. But here I believe that he needed to get, anything with a mega strike and got 4 in the red. And if I remember correctly, this goes for 0. Danny just had horrific mega strike luck. And that also continued in the next game against Adam, which was really sad. We already talked a little bit about triple hammer, bro. Hamilton, do you have anything to add about Adam's team at the bottom of the table?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna say it's a tough result for Danny to only walk out of that with a tie. Um, you mentioned that all of Danny's games were close. I pulled up the results, and each one of them was a one-goal game, and I think that included maybe an overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so just tough results for Danny, but um, kudos to Adam for getting a tie. Because he doesn't get those often.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for Danny because I feel like he's just trying his best and it's just not paying up.
Yeah, I think this is probably the last time that we'll be talking about Danny on this podcast. There, I think that was an 0
Yeah.
for 5 there. Which I think that here we kind of have a little bit of contrast of one manager who's tried everything and another manager who's tried nothing. And Danny was the last pick in the draft, and this year was kind of the draft especially was really just randomness. So he just got a bad hand there. Um, Next series, we saw the Triple Hammer Bros take the field again against Freddy.
Hmm.
Freddy, you said you have watched the VOD for this. We were
Yes.
talking about you must have absolutely erupted at the end of this game one. I think this is the greatest result thievery that we have seen in the history of the league.
So when I started watching these, when I finally was able to watch these games, because I missed the stream yesterday because I was doing my horse riding stuff. But when I finally was able to catch the stream, I was like, oh, I'm like right here. I'm down 5-2, and I'm just like, this is over. I don't know what's gonna go. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. And then Waluigi gets it here. I'm just like, come on, please, come on. But I wasn't expecting anything considering Mega Strikes. I don't get many Mega Strikes with Waluigi at all. This is like probably the third one I've ever seen. And then I see that third one go, and I'm like, there's no fucking way!
Yeah, no, the pop off must have been unreal, and especially like on the day, I'd say overall like the percentage for like Mega Strikes made was low. And watching Danny go like 0 for 10 on Mega Strikes in the last 30 seconds when he only needed one in 2 games to watch Waluigi go 3 for 5. Just like absolutely crazy. So, um, yeah, no, greatest thievery that we've ever seen, and you ended up converting that into a full win by
Which I will gladly
winning
take.
game 2 on your homeland. Although this too looked more shaky. Do you feel as good about Triple Hammer Bro on Wasteland as you have in weeks past?
Well, I'm triple dry
Triple
bone.
dry bones.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Um, I still have confidence in my triple dry bones. The main reason I didn't make a change, especially this week, was because I was playing back-to-back games and I wanted to make sure there was some kind of consistency
Hmm.
between the two games, which probably wasn't more so my second matchup, but I still have confidence in my team, especially on my home map, considering even though dry bones are a defensive are teammates. The speed from the wasteland allows them to pick it up and go into tackles more heavily and also launch themselves more forward on their teleport. So I still am confident in them, but I especially didn't make any changes because of these matchups where against Colin, I needed to be more defensive minded but I knew offensively I had enough, especially at home, to at least score some goals against a team like Adams.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind for next week, Fred.
Oh, I'm thinking.
I do I do think that Freddy probably is one of the teams that has gotten closest to like optimization for their captain. So credits to you. Because I think you're getting more out of Waluigi than a lot of people would have, especially after what we saw in the first couple weeks. But that
Yeah.
does take us into the final game of the week where Colin was able to get the win. And this was a return to form for Wario. Some people on this podcast had said that Wario would not win a series
Oh
for
yeah,
the
that's
whole rest
right.
of the season.
Could have been
Some
anyone.
people who had, future predictive power. So in general, I'm trying to ask direct questions today, but I will open this one up to the table. I can't remember who said all that, but would anyone like to speak on that take of Wario not winning for the rest of the
God,
season?
I wonder who it was.
will come forward and say that whoever it was really smart and probably saw some really cool things coming.
Really
But
attractive.
I would say that they might have not seen that there was a triple hammer bro matchup in the future, and I will. Oh wait, was it? No, sorry. I thought that he played someone else. I will give Colin credit where credit is due, and he did beat the essential like my team that beat him with just a different captain. So I will give Colin the credit he deserves. He did get his win. He will remain at the top of the table, and I will prelude that I'm going to probably put him back in S tier this week. Give him
Don't
some
spoil
respect that
it.
I think he deserves.
You're spoiling it for the
But
listener.
also too, I think he deserves a lot of credit because the past 2 weeks he kind of got dry bones by losing to the triple and then tying me, and he made the adaptation of he saw that he wasn't scoring enough goals with Berto on the lineup, and he made the adaptation of adding in Hammer Bro, and it showed. So he deserves credit for that. Also, too, just something that we should keep in mind for the future. I believe we get about 3 podcast listens a week, and Colin is one of them. So maybe we don't alienate our only audience, but yeah, we can go ahead. So that's all the results. We can go ahead and take that into the segue of the captain's tier list.
Hold
So
on, just real quick. On my home game against Colin, when that own goal went in, that was sad because I thought I was hoping I was gonna get back into it, but then that own goal goes in. I'm just like, damn.
yeah, let me see if I can find the footage of that.
It's
We do
one that
have the first own goal in SPL history. Um, never before seen. I didn't know how to count this because like technically it is a dry bone skill shot assist. The goalie's unaffected. But I feel like either Colin's dry bones or yours deserve some credit for that. But that's never before seen. And
Regardless, it's always a positive for Colin and a negative for me.
yeah, but I'm just thinking about dry bones. These characters deserve to be rewarded for what they put out on the field. Yeah. But we will go ahead and roll into the captain's tier list. So this is what we ended on last week, and I do think there's a fair amount of movement that should be made. So let's see. Hamilton, are you willing to take the walk to put Colin back in S?
I think we should go down to D really quick just to sit there, and then he can go back up to S.
Do we want to reset the tier list or do we want to make changes from here?
I think we could just make changes.
Oh,
My apologies. We can reset if we want to.
Yeah, let's reset it. It's fun
make it
to
more
reset.
fun.
I also
Yeah.
think there's so much shuffling that needs to be had in like B and C that it'll be nice to kind of have this fresh.
I also think it's important that when Colin listens to this, he can know that he's currently in D. And
yeah, Colin, if you're listening on audio on Spotify, quickly hit the switch to video button right now. But so are we Hamilton, are you willing to put Colin at the top of S or are you still putting him at second place in S?
it's tough because I will absolutely hear the argument that he's in first in the league. But I think I am currently more afraid of Bowser Jr. than I am of Wario. So I think I would put.
Let me put one thing in your head. So Colin's final 3 opponents are Danny, Shell, and David. And Grant's final 3 appointments are Ham, Garrett, and Danny. So for tier list, we're thinking about results, we're thinking about prospects of the future, and then what you see on the field. So it sounds like what you see on the field is you are more scared of Bowser Jr. But if we look at results, Colin still is top of the table. And we look at the rest of the season, with that schedule, I do think that Colin will finish on top, most likely.
I don't disagree.
Unless there wants to be any more predicting going on.
So I'll say, what's your mind's eye telling you?
Take died last week, Freddy. You were the straw that broke the camel's back on that prediction.
Look, I tried. All right.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Actually, I want to do something a little bit different with this tier list. I want us to have 3 tiers. And so we're going to
Three
have
tiers.
4 teams in each tier. And I want us to try and, based off that, it's
Oh,
going to be
I see.
imperfect, have who our top 4 is. So we're only going to use S, B, and D.
I like it.
Top 4, we're gonna lock in, because by the time we do any sort of follow up to this, we will be in playoff mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those 2 up there. I'm a little bit less concerned about the order. Who
Yeah.
else do we think is finishing in the top 4? And I can pull up the standings real quick. That way we've got something to reference, because I think that will be helpful. Freddie, who else
So
do you have in the top 4?
I would obviously like to say myself, just because I am in 4th now based on my results. So I would like to put myself up there. Just because, also not just also because of my strength of schedule, but just because my team, I feel like can still grind out these results. Because I face Garrett, then I face Jaco, and then I face Dan. So I think I have enough left in the tank to keep myself up there, to be honest. So I would put myself up there, and then I don't remember which captain is which.
Okay.
Jake,
So
sorry,
let's see. I
by the names, I forget which captain is which.
I think we got to put Yoshi up in the top 4 as well.
Okay, yeah,
Even though he lost this week, I think that just based off point total, he's probably going
yeah.
to get there. Garrett, Ham, are you guys in agreement that Freddy will be in the 4th spot, or do you think someone else will make up that 1 point difference?
Hamilton, I'll
Can you
let you start.
show? Can you show schedule rather than Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Just trying to figure out.
I'm going to drag this up there so that way we can see both in theory. I don't know. Can you guys see both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to look at this for a second.
Yeah, we got to think hard on this. So right now we have Fredchester, Toadenham, Donkey's Nuts, and 30 Turtles, Princess and the Toads, all separated by 2 points. I think that Flower Power will make the playoffs, which obviously we'll get to that with the next tier, but I don't think that they're going to be able to make it to top 4. I think the gap there is just too big. So Hamilton, do you have anyone that you think is a better candidate than Fredchester United?
I'm gonna look at who you play really quick. Honestly, I don't know that I do. The 1 point here actually is looking to be really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see. I think that the difference between 4th and 5th is going to be a point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either going to be because Freddy picks up 3 ties and someone picks up a win and a tie, or Freddy picks up 3 ties and the rest of us pick up 3 ties, and Freddy's got that point. But I think that Freddy, right now, I think has the best chance of making it in. I will give him that.
Garrett, do you have any qualms with that?
Yeah, I think I'm beating him this week.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a problem. And then he
that
also
does
plays
affect,
against Jacob.
and that could go either way.
But you
Honestly,
also play against me in week
Yeah.
8. And then
You play
I
Grant.
think I would probably actually it's so muffled. I'll go on the majority here and put Freddy in the 4th spot, just because that 1 point. I also do want to highlight that he has a much worse goal difference than the next 3. So if at any point he loses, some other team ties, and then like they both win the next game, Freddy will be the odd man out. So there really isn't any great projection of it, but I'll
Yeah.
bump him up there just because I do think that there's a great chance that all of us lose a game in this battle, because Hamilton plays against Grant. That's really tough. I play against you. That's really tough. And so I think Hamilton's right that 1 point is going to make a difference.
I will also say, historically my teams have tied games when they probably shouldn't have. Like we've eked out those results.
You also won a game this past week when you definitely shouldn't have.
Yeah, that also.
So you got that going for you. So let's go ahead and go to the middle of the pack. This is where the real heartbreak sets in. I think what'll make this easier is if we leave the teams in D that probably don't stand a chance. Because there I think are 3 teams that clearly won't make playoffs, and then there are 5 that could.
Yeah.
I think the difficult thing about this here is that 3 of the 4 people in this group are all on the podcast.
Sure.
Which does not, I think that's not gonna end well for Princess and the Toads and Flower Power. Um, so maybe I'll defer to Freddy. Freddy, do you think that these 3 teams will be in playoffs?
Can you pull up the schedule again real quick? Okay, so Garrett goes me, then hold on, I have to coordinate names and where they are in the standings. Hold on. Totem is which captain again?
That's Petey.
Okay, that's you. Austin, I do believe you will make playoffs for sure. You're not just your strength of schedule, but also your team comp has been really good this year, and you've gotten results. So, yeah, yes for Austin for sure. I'm gonna say yes to Ham as well. Uh, not just because. Hold on, pull up the schedule one more time. I need to see. Okay, so it's still we could get some results considering there are 3 games left and like it could be a 9-point swing where one team in the bottom could get above them. So uh
I'm
um,
gonna highlight one thing about the table, Hamilton. I believe that the Dirty Turtles goal difference is incorrect, or are they actually at +2 now?
I'll double check.
That I thought that
What
he
is
was
his name?
I thought that he was negative, but maybe I'm misremembering because he would have had to gone
-3.
+5 this week.
Which I think he might have.
He may have.
I'll say
He
because he
won
killed him this game.
7-4, which is +3, and then 2-0 to go +5
Yeah,
on the week.
+5.
Damn. Yeah, that is such a dominant win.
Oh my word.
Um,
and just to finish out, Gary, I think you will make playoffs, but it's gonna be tight. You are playing really good teams, and like I think I think you will make playoffs, but I I don't know by what margin it will be. Maybe it'll be the last seed, maybe it'll be second to last seed. I think you'll squeak in, but just barely, if I'm being honest, just based on who you play next.
Go ahead,
That's
talk
just
shit about
me.
yourself.
I'm,
all right. So I'm cool with that. Hamilton, are you cool with these 3 sort of being the more locks for playoffs?
I think so.
Okay.
just
So
based off
Hamilton,
strength of
I would
schedule.
like to ask you if you were to pick one person to bring with you to playoffs, would it be Princess and the Toads, or would it be the Dirty Turtles, which is Daisy?
Not flower power.
Not Flower Power.
Tough because the Dirty Turtles has a game, and what I'm looking at right now is they also have an 8-goal differential. Sorry, it has a point and an 8-goal differential helper.
Mm-hmm.
I I want to believe in the Princess and the Toad's ability to get in there. But they'd have to get a result. And who does Dave play? Dave plays Colin, Eric, and Jacob. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm not gonna enjoy saying this, but I think it's gonna be Daisy um over Luigi.
I
Just based on matchups.
I can definitely vibe with that, and I think that so much of that comes down to this result. This week, Eric
Mhm.
getting that win has completely transformed his odds, and David not even being able. If he even had like one more point right now, I think that would go a long way. But
Yeah.
he, has to make up the difference of a point, and he's probably going to be down on goal difference too, if they end up being even. So I think that's a very fair take, and I think also too, he has a really really difficult last 3 games, and I think Eric, has a relatively free game against Eric, a huge head to head, well, 2 huge head to head. So I think that it's more likely that David loses 2 games than Eric does.
Yeah.
Um, does anyone have any gripes with this?
I hmm, I don't know about Eric making playoffs. Like I want him to. I the Princess and the Toad team kind of had games stolen from them this week. If I'm being honest, I do think that they had a good shot.
I will say, I feel like just based off Eric's schedule, he will get in because like you said, Austin, Eric's schedule looks better than David's does, but
And he has a point and goal difference on his side.
yeah,
I think if either
So
of those were flipped, it'd be a different conversation. I think you're right, Garrett, that Princess and the Toads might be a better team, but also too, like literally the way that the schedule is going to work out. And I'm also going to manipulate this a little bit, but right now we have it slotted so that way they're going to play at the end. I'm probably going to make that match 12 um, on the final week of Eric versus David. I think that they are going to play each other for the playoffs in that game.
I
Um,
think that's a fair take. Yeah.
which is going to be
yeah,
crazy. I mean, there's a lot of other things pending. I mean that game against Eric, between Eric and Ham could also seal the playoff picture. But I think that this is probably the responsible thing to do. We've pretty much gone for the table outside of sneaking Bowser up, which is fair. Um, but
My
it's
only thing I want to bring up,
mhm.
my only thing I want to potentially bring up is that the goals that were scored in this Daisy match last week was against a team with no dry bones and no defensive players. So I do want to take that into account when it comes to thinking about future matchups for Eric when he plays against a team that's not pass, 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 Luigi stomps people, doesn't shoot. And I feel like all of that is relevant to think about.
Wait, which game are you talking about?
Talking about Daisy. Daisy last week, he played against Luigi in them,
He
right?
played
Am I
against
crazy?
Jacob.
Against David. Jaco. Cheers. I'm totally wrong. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Regardless, I'm
but you
probably
are
gonna repeat
talking about
myself.
the future game that will likely decide
That
the
yes,
fate of
that
the
is what I'm
playoffs.
saying.
So
Is
so 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 it is relevant.
um,
that game I think will have a lot more impact than what we think, even with what you're saying, Austin.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Uh, I just did the math real quick. Colin is locked into playoffs. No one can take him out of
Yeah.
playoffs.
Oh yeah.
But do we think do you think Colin would mess about and just throw in random stuff? Just to
Absolutely not.
No, because you can't
Ex-
undo it fast enough.
exactly.
fair enough. But
Plus, he
I
definitely
I just
wants to win the league. Like the regular,
I
I
know
feel
that,
like
but
winning the regular season gets a pretty big chip on your shoulder. Like Colin definitely, like he's been upset when he lost and when we've underrated him. So I do not think that Colin is going to toss.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely
not
not.
I'm not saying he will, but at least he's 100% locked in as opposed to everyone else below him isn't. So I don't know if that makes a difference at all in his
Also, the top
or
4 here does make a pretty big difference, so I wouldn't expect him to be putting himself in any jeopardy of, frankly, not being the first seed.
Yeah.
No, being in top 4 has a huge impact on your ability to win the championship with the way that the bracket is set up. You get double elimination while 5th through 8th only get 1 loss. So it's very big. There's absolutely no incentive for, even dropping points, like even risking dropping a tie.
yeah.
And I don't think Colin has, enough reason to experiment. Um, so if that is the case, if no one else has any major qualms, this is what we're locking in as our playoff predictions. Rest in peace to our two triple hammer bro teams, unless Shell makes a change. Rest in peace to Danny. And truly Luigi has everything still to play for, but this is just how we think things will shake out. We'll do a real quick sidekick tier list. I don't really know how much. I actually, just looking at this now, I do think there's a fair amount of movement that needs to happen. Hamilton, where are you putting Shy Guy after this week?
He's gotta come up, which is annoying, but he did well, and so he gets rewarded for that. I I think I might even move him in front of Hammer Bro. My stocks on Hammer Bro are so low.
Mm-hmm.
The other hot take I'm gonna throw out there is I think that Monty Mole and Toad move into A.
I was
Not
gonna
saying
agree.
not saying that the gap is closed, just saying that the gap is no longer so gaping that it's like 3 dry bones is the only way to play the game.
I would agree with part of that take. Can I ask? Anyone can throw out an answer to this, but someone has overtaken the golden boot for the season in goals per game. Does anyone have any guesses about who that is?
Isn't it goals per game?
Goals per game, which is how we're tracking golden boot.
Is it
Dude, isn't it
Boo?
Monty?
It is Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not think that Toad should go into A tier with him, especially with Triple Toads taking a loss this week. So I would be down for doing that because I do think that Monty has closed the gap on dry bones. Actually, in terms of strikers index, which is win percentage multiplied by goals per game, he's on an even tie with dry bones. Might I add, that is with a quarter of the games that Dry Bones has played. Monty has played 40. Dry Bones has played 172. Those are rough estimates. There may be some give or take there. I'm sure Hamilton's data
Yeah.
looks a little bit different.
We're all tracking the same stuff.
Yeah. So I'm cool with moving Monty up. Something else that I want to do, which we talked about a lot last week, but I want to put Boo and Toad on the same level. I think Boo's goal production is starting to be something that we can't ignore. Especially for Grant's team. I don't know why, but his Boo goes crazy. I think it had like 4 or 5 goals across like that 2-game series. Garrett, do you have any moves that you want to make here?
Yeah, I agree with. I think the main thing, honestly, was just Monty getting more respect. I think that's just the main thing. Outside of that, Birdo goes down, in my opinion. I don't know if they're a bad option anymore, but just the amount of lack of usage that I'm getting is just sadly telling, and that is something to recognize, I think.
Unfortunately, I think if you're not in the league, you probably have to go to F, even though that is completely unfair to Birdo.
Yeah.
Just because it's impossible to talk about them. They did nothing. They
Exactly.
did nothing wrong this week.
Out of respect for the past, I'd say D, but I do understand that if you are no longer on any teams, on any rosters, that it is very difficult to have you at any kind of reasonable place.
Yeah. Change D to not in the league and change
I think
F to
that's a
not
good
in the league.
change.
It doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah. It's not that you're bad, Berto. It's just that Monty is strictly better.
I don't really know if he is though. I think that really just comes down to usage.
I suppose it's fair.
I really think there's really no discernible difference between Monty and Birdo, but Monty just gets played more because he's got a sick helmet.
God, you're right.
It was though.
Fred, do you have anything that you want to shake up here?
Not really. I mean, I'm fine with this. Granted, like I was all because of my scheduling stuff, I wasn't able to see much of the games except for the other games as opposed to what I saw from the stream highlights that we showed. So I'm fine with this. Upon further watching, which I'm probably gonna do after this, maybe I'll have some differing opinions, but for right now, I'm fine with this.
All right. Well, this is good. I think this is the first time since maybe the first time we did this podcast after week 1 or week 2 that anyone has been within touching distance of Dry Bones. So I think that is exciting.
Yeah.
But I will
So-
say the Shy Guys surprised me. Like I'm sure for everyone else, like no one was. I know we said no one was expecting that, but like the Shy Guys paired well with Daisy, so that was it's surprising to see. So
Yeah. I still am just in shock that they, the fact that they pulled off a +5 goal difference across that too is insane because we rarely see that. But let's go ahead and get back to talking about predictions. So for this past week, these were our predictions. Overall, it was a great predictive week. It looks slightly worse now that I removed this game that I thought we all got right, but just had it backwards. Garrett with a new record of 5 for 8 Preds, which
Not
massive
bad for
props to
first
you,
time.
especially too because we doubted you predicting 6 wins and told you that wouldn't happen, and you proved us wrong. So Garrett, I'll give you the floor if there's anything you want to say to the people as the predictive champ.
It's not a matter of skill or anything. It's bullshit luck and vibes. And at the end of the day, sometimes that's better than any skill. It's the who you know, not what you know sometimes. And in this case, it was just vibes. So I'm not gonna toot my own horn. We'll see if I do it 2 weeks in a row, maybe I'll be a little bit more proud. But at the moment I'm just kind of happy we did good.
He's just a chill guy who makes good Preds. Well,
I
Garrett,
don't want to.
your predictive powers will be put to the ultimate test
Yeah, I'll say 16
as
games. Let's see what
as we
can
look
do.
at this gauntlet of 16 games.
I think is the number. I think it's 16 total games.
16 games that we have to predict because we are doing a combined match week 7 and 8. So this is all the games for the rest of the season that we are about to run through. I think it would be kind of interesting. I don't know how long it'll take us to do this. Probably way too long, but it would be fun to have a mock table made from this. I wish I had not deleted my impromptu made table. That would be really handy right now. But maybe we can do that post production. But oh man, that'd be really fun. Maybe we'll do it live.
Yes.
Yeah, great ideas that would have been really nice to have a little while ago. All right, so first game of week 7, we got Grant versus Ham. We'll just go across the board here. Freddy was a late addition, so let me add him in here.
He doesn't get to participate.
Yeah, so Grant versus Ham. I am actually gonna go. I mean, I guess this is a relative upset, but I'm gonna go a tie for this one. I think Hamilton, tied against Colin, will actually beat Colin, which is a relatively similar roster to Grant. So other people may have differing opinions. Hamilton, how do you rate yourself for this?
I'm gonna go tie -2, so I'm gonna predict that Grant +2. I'm predicting Grant beats me, but it's a tie.
Yep. Which is fair.
If I can get a point out of this game, I will be very content. That'll do massive things in the table. I'm gonna go tie.
I'm gonna add a +1 to mine, just because I remember how many goals Grant scores. Garrett, what do you think about this matchup?
Unfortunately, Ham, I don't agree with you. I think this is going to be a Grant matchup all the way. I think he's going to have a +3 today. I think it'll be closer, but I do think that his just offensive prowess is unstoppable. +23 might be a little high, but
I mean, you said it, not me.
Freddie,
what do you think is going to happen here?
I am going Ham +1.
Not
Can't
possible,
happen.
but
-1.
Still impossible.
Still
Can't happen either.
Whatever.
If there's a winner, you cannot have a 1 goal differential.
All right. Well, Freddy, you're picking the upset result for Hamilton. If Hamilton does win that game, I'm pretty sure that probably ices playoffs for him. Just about. So Freddy is, absolutely sticking with our pick. Next game we got Adam versus Eric, which will very likely be triple Hammer Bro versus triple Shy Guy, going to Thunder Island and the Vice. I think that Adam's team might run into a lot of the same problems that Jacob's team did in terms of lack of speed against the Shy Guys. So I guess, damn, I can't, I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Going Eric +2, but I based off everything we've seen from the triple Shy Guys with Daisy, that feels like the responsible thing to do.
I
Ham?
would do this responsible. I'm not gonna do it because we're gonna revert back to the norm. We're gonna tie this game. I am gonna give Eric some goals, so I'm gonna go minus. I'm gonna go Eric -3.
I mean, he did
So
go
he's gonna,
+5 last series, so
yeah.
why not?
To clarify, he's gonna go plus. Eric's going +3 with this -3. To clarify,
Yes.
that's what that means.
Yeah.
But yes.
Eric is winning with a goal difference of 3. Garrett, what do you have in this slog?
I've played these games before, Austin. I've seen what Daisy can do against a triple Hammer Bro team, and I have experienced it firsthand, and that was with good sidekicks. Give me Grant +5.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go
One's
Adam.
getting it right.
That is what I meant, but
Yeah.
I don't think that this will go anywhere near the way that Eric wants it.
To be fair, if
It's
Grant was
+3.
on the field, I do think that it would be +5.
I think these Hammer Bros are gonna drop like a Brazil followed by like a good 4-1. I don't think Daisy has the ability to get the goals that they need.
All right, Fred.
I know that I just predicted. I think that's a +9, but you know what I mean.
Way of the road, Freddie. What do you foresee happening in Adam versus Eric?
I am going Eric +3.
Eric +3.
You guys expect so much offensive prowess out of this Daisy team.
Well, and then I want to point something out when we get to the next matchup.
Okay. Well, what would you like to point out? Now is the time.
So it's not a predict. It's just it's not a prediction.
Not you, it's me, Freddy.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, when it comes to my season as a whole, I will never have played Daisy. I have not, because this would have been my Daisy matchup. And now that Daisy is on Eric's team, and I've already played Eric, I will have gone the entire season without playing a captain.
Hey, what's your goal differential you're thinking?
I'm actually going a tie. A tie +2.
Incredible.
All right.
You didn't have to write all that out. I just wanted to point
I was
it out.
worried he wasn't watching for a second.
No, I saw the whole thing. I just wanted to get out what I was saying first, because that's how my ADHD works.
Yeah. I don't worry, Freddie. I'm in the same boat where I will play Bowser twice and never play Daisy. So it's tough.
And that's also why I went ties, because last time I played Bowser, I tied him. So I'm hoping for that consistency.
Garrett, I think I probably know what you're predicting.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not trying to subliminally message
here,
but if you keep the team the same and we go to the Wastelands, I do think I'm favored. And then on my map, I also think I'm favored. So I'll give it to myself, and I'll give it to myself with I'll give it a plus. I'll give it a 3. Waluigi has some defense. They ain't no Mario team.
The interesting thing is that Bowser barely even had to Mega Strike in the last game, so we haven't even seen what that looks like when he's playing from a deficit.
Did I get one off? I don't think I did.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You didn't have to at all. Hamilton, what you got?
I'd first like to give Freddy some kudos for just dropping the prediction. It's fun. And then I'm gonna go tie +2.
Oh gosh. Who else does Garrett play?
I believe it is
You and Grant.
I'll say
Grant.
you two.
Well, I think Garrett's gonna make playoffs, so I think he's gonna win 2 of the 3. So purely to protect myself, going to Garrett.
This
But also too
is
because I do
exactly
think
how I
it's
felt
probably what's
during the
going to
fantasy
happen.
football meetings. This
God.
exact thing.
And I think if he
Now
wins, it's going to be big.
Now I hope I win, just to shut
I think
everyone
that
else.
most people
like,
hope they
You want to
win.
predict that you're gonna win?
I'm saying I hope I win. I'm predicting a tie.
Mm.
My prediction stays the same. I just hope I win.
Cheers.
Okay.
God.
Next game, Jacob versus David. Major playoff implications here for David. We just saw a pretty abysmal result for Jacob against a triple roster. Jacob actually slept on, has not made a single change to his roster the entire season. If there ever was a moment to do it, it would be now. He has changed up his map, but never once moved a person. I think if he doesn't make any changes, it'll end in a tie. I think if he does, there's a good chance that he wins. So I think he won't make a change. I think it'll be a tie. Ham?
I -1. No
Major
analyst.
regression to the ties.
Look, it's coming.
Garrett?
Yeah, I gotta go with the tie on this one. I've been predicting too many things. I'll give Jaco 2 goals.
Fred?
I'm going Jaco +1.
Again, not possible.
Well, just all right, then fix it.
Uh,
I don't know how
Yep.
half this stuff works.
Yep.
All right, Jaco +2 then, fine.
He's locked in.
Next game is me versus Shell.
hmm.
I think what I predict here is I'm just gonna assume that Shell's gonna rerun Triple Hammer Bros. I really
Yeah.
have no idea what Shell's doing anymore. That change was so far out of left field that he is a complete wild card. But I'm just
Fair.
gonna go off the data that I have and assume that he's Triple Hammer Bros. My only win of the season was against Triple Hammer Bros. Although we had to score 2 goals in the last 13 seconds to win. But I'm gonna back the boys, and I'll go myself +3 because they don't have any defense. Ham?
Since you're running the very similar comp to me, and I really want to predict a tie here, I'm gonna go you +2.
It will be interesting where the two of us go from our non-data gained after last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we can talk some shop actually. Now that we've played each other, off podcast, obviously we can talk some shop about what we want to do because we are in a we are so our seasons are so intertwined with each other. We have the same points, goal difference, tied each other, and practically the same captain.
Do you need to talk shop? It sounds like you guys already are aware.
Maybe there's something we can learn from each other. Garrett, what do you think's gonna happen?
I truly believe that you got this one +2. I don't think that it'll be
God, you guys
anything
gotta
special.
stop. This is not good.
I don't think this
Blow
is
him
gonna
out.
be oh,
I'm gonna get broed. Freddy.
Austin +5.
No.
Stop.
oh no, he's
I'm
going to
shocked.
die.
I'm not going to playoffs. No.
Chat.
Oh God. Speaking of not going to playoffs,
Oh
and
no.
what's probably not going to be a close game. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm gonna. Wow, I was about to say I'm gonna
Sorry.
beat the dead horse, but what a terrible phrase. I'm not gonna
Hey.
do that, but I am gonna predict Colin to win. At, Danny's gonna keep it close. Danny likes to lose close games, so we're going Colin +2. Ham.
Colin +3.
He likes to lose those games. What a shame.
He lost
does.
4 games last week, all by 1 goal.
So
And 2
depressing.
of those, he had a mega strike in the last 30 seconds, and he just needed
With
one.
no.
He just needed one. Both of them were in the red too. I swear, when it's in the red, whether it's 4 or 6, you're like always good for one.
Yeah.
That was crazy. He was not meant to have a winning season, unfortunately. Garrett, what you got in Colin versus Danny?
Yeah, Colin +4. It ain't particularly close.
Freddy.
Danny -3.
Oh my.
Danny -3. He's back in the playoff contention. He's back.
So we are in
Spread
playoff
triple
contention now.
option up the table.
Just like
Okay.
my team causes chaos, I'm causing chaos in the predictions.
Wow.
Let it be known.
All right, so that'll wrap up our midweek series. We're shooting
Danny's gonna
for
kick
Wednesday.
Colin's butt.
Let's shoot for 40.
We are going to move into week 8, where we will be running 12 games and 3 hours of watching
jeez.
Mario Strikers Charged for the Nintendo Wii.
With the option to stream in person.
Yeah, with the option to be there in person.
I would actually like to make a request that we make that Sunday, not Saturday, because I can't do Saturday.
I don't know if we have the option of doing that, Freddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Crap.
Well, we can talk about that at a later time.
Right.
But so I'm going to be opening up against Jacob. I'm going to go a raw tie, a classy game between two managers who respect each other. Garrett, what do you have? Oh wait, is it Ham next?
Austin,
It's me.
Austin Jaco, is that a tie? Did you say tie 0? I love it.
Yeah.
I do think. God, I'm on the Austin train now. I think. I do believe that this one would be Austin. Give me a +2. It'll be a close one, but I think that Jaco might actually be losing his mind. For fair reasons.
If he does lose that game, his top 4 will be in jeopardy. Which would be interesting.
Crazy, isn't it?
And if I win both these games, it'll probably be me that'll be taking that spot. So thank you, Garrett. Ham, what you got?
Tie -1.
And Freddy?
I'm doing this because I can't because I don't want to see I'm choosing tie because I can't choose between who I want to win more between my birthday brother and my Orange County brother.
Dox yourself.
I'm going tie
Good.
0.
Tie 0.
Tie 0.
I never said
which
Where's
orange.
which Orange County?
Yeah, there's many.
There is a lot of those.
Okay.
I'm going to tie 0 just because I don't want to choose between my two brothers.
We have been talking a lot about these games down here, being between teams in playoff contention. It's slept on how big of an impact this will have.
Yeah.
Because, Garrett pretty much has to win 2 of 3 and probably tie his other. So this game's going to be absolutely huge. Although Garrett has taken some of the pressure off me
by giving you a couple wins.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to trade in the good grace of the fact that, I'm going to put the vibes out there that I'll win those other 2. So I'll say that I can take this loss.
Loss.
I'll give it to Garrett. And we're going to get routed as the playoffs going.
Routed is crazy.
Yeah, what you got?
Tie -2.
Absolutely obliterated, he says.
I squeaked out a win in one of the games of the season against Bowser with a mix of booze and Shy Guys. So I don't feel particularly good about this, and that's when PD went crazy for Mega Strikes. I assume you're picking yourself?
I will in fact be picking myself.
Goal difference?
I'll give it to myself with 3 goals this time though.
Respectable. Freddy?
Austin +3.
Austin, you are going to be in first place.
I feel like Freddy's predictions would be entirely different if he wasn't in the 4 spot, because I feel like he's just going against the grade. Which I love.
Chaos.
Yeah, I love.
You know what's funny is he's going to be completely correct, and it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, we're just going to be all in the red, and then Freddy will just be straight green.
Gary, penny bet?
I believe I have the penny currently, so I'm down.
All right, done.
Jacob, geez, we're gonna have so many good games in this last week.
That's gonna be electric next Saturday.
Yeah, these are bangers. In theory, this is a matchup for top 4. which, that's just based off things could be changed. But as of right now, these are the two teams that'll be gunning for top 4, and Freddy's 2 points back. So a win here could make the difference. I think it's going to be a tie. I will go +1 for Jacob. Ham.
Vary off my tie streak and go Jacob. And go Jacob -3. Or sorry, +3.
Heard. Garrett.
This is the tie. It's a tie, but I'll give Jaco the 1 goal lead here. I'm gonna follow in your footsteps there, Austin. I mean, no need to copy, but
Respectable pred. Freddy.
Well, I guess I'll be the only one that predicts me.
look, man, I gotta pray on your downfall a little bit in order to get top 4 myself. So
If you got a top 4,
I'll
Me -2.
I gotta win it.
I feel like the first game at Jacob's home game will be closer. I feel like maybe I blow him out at the Wasteland.
Okay. Blow him out. Next game.
I'm sorry.
Listen.
On the
next,
pod?
next game, another banger. Line them up. We got Grant versus Garrett. I think this will be like a really good litmus test for Garrett to see if he really is, Garrett, I respect the pred that you're going to make it to top 4, but I do think that is unlikely. But you could
Without
put
that
some
win.
respect on your name going into the playoffs. It's Bowser versus Bowser Jr. We've already seen
It's
this.
perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, what happened last time? Let's go back in the database. It was a very different Bowser team.
Eric Grant. Grant won it.
Grant straight up
But that
won
was-
it. Week
Yeah.
3, I feel like that was
That was
probably against like
also-
2 boos and a shy guy.
That was against 2 Boos and a Shy Guy, I believe.
Yeah. Which is not a
I don't
great
mean
build.
to talk any smack about Eric as a coach, but I do think my team might be a little bit stronger than that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a tie, though. I think Thunder Island just makes it so that way, you can't really predict it. And then
Thunder Island's
Grant's team scores so many
so
goals. I'm just
good.
going to go tie -2. Ham, what you got?
I'm gonna go Grant +3.
That
And
would
I'm
be
not gonna.
that could be huge because if we look at the table, if Flower Power were to rise up and not recoup this goal difference, if Grant then were to add -3 to that and a loss,
Yeah, that would have been.
that could be curtains even if Grant wins even if Garrett wins his other 2 games. So that
Yeah,
would be
I'll
an
say that would
interesting
not be
poll.
ideal.
I take it you will not be following suit, Garrett.
I will say that it's a tie, and I will say that Grant will probably have a goal advantage. I'll
Okay.
give him 2.
Gotcha. Freddy?
Unfortunately, I think that's the correct thing to do.
I'm going Gary +3.
Hell yeah, love it.
Bowser the father is gonna put his son Bowser Jr. in his place.
Just to give the data, because I went and looked for it. Last time the Bowsers played each other, game 1 was 8-3 in favor of Grant. Game 2 was 2-1 in favor of Grant.
It
Okay.
perhaps had something to do with the Boos
I'm
and the Shy
probably
Guys.
thinking they played
Absolutely.
on Thunder Island and Lava Pit back then.
Yeah,
I do not have that data, but
I'm
believe that
I'm
was what it
certain
was.
of it.
I'll say I'm certain.
Which is interesting because Lava Pit has kind of fallen out of favor, and I think that actually is a relatively good upset map. Next game, Danny versus Freddy. I think if we are predicting Freddy to make top 4, this is probably a game that he's gonna have to win. Has Danny played any Dry Bones teams?
He would have played Ham probably at some point.
not when I had a Dry Bones team.
Yeah,
Oh.
so Danny's never played a Dry Bones team. His team is really fast. I'm curious what changes Danny makes. I'm gonna go a tie here because I think he's gonna lose the next one as I look downwards. I'll go tie -1. Ham, what you got?
I'm gonna take Freddy here, and I'm gonna take Freddy. So -2.
Garrett?
Danny loses close games.
He does.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a tie, but also have Freddy with a 2-goal advantage. I think it's a close one and a rout.
Freddy?
Me minus. I'll stick at -2.
Say it's close games. If you lose both games by 1, then that
Danny
puts up to
loses
2.
close games. Freddy wins close games.
Yeah.
Next game, I do not think will be close. I'm gonna go Grant +4. Ham, what you got?
I'm gonna go Grant +7.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Garrett.
I don't think it'll be that bad, but I will give it to Grant at +4.
Yeah.
Freddy.
Give me Danny +5.
What
this,
the-
this motherfucker.
-5, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that's not what we were judging you for there.
I know, just because I went Danny. Like I said, chaos predictions.
Adam versus Ham. This will be Hamilton's first time versus the Bros.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like the Shell Hammer Bro team developed so late on. I'm gonna go Ham. -3. Ham, what you got?
I'm gonna copycat Ham -3.
Respect. Garrett.
I'll give it to Ham, but slightly less. I do think he'll get 2 though.
Freddy.
I am going Ham -3. Yeah.
Wow.
Am I? No chaos from Fred.
We are unified.
I'm now petrified.
We now go into Eric's doubleheader, which will have absolutely insane playoff ramifications. For Eric versus Ham, I'm gonna go a tie because I believe that I'm tripping. That Hamilton tied the Toads. That's David's team, not Eric's. I'm gonna go a raw tie. It's so hard to predict the Shy Guys just because we've seen so little of it. Hamilton, what you got?
I'm gonna go +2 or -2.
If you win 2 games, you're gonna be sitting pretty for the playoffs.
Absolutely. I don't think both of these predictions are right, but I'm hoping one of them is.
Yeah, which is probably all you need as long as you tie other stuff. Garrett, what you got?
Yeah, I know this Daisy team, guys. This was a red herring last week. I'll give it to Ham with 4 goals.
Love to hear it.
Fred?
Let chaos reign. Eric +3.
Yeah, no way. I
So
like it though.
when I do make the mock tables, Freddie, don't take this personally, but I'm gonna ignore your results because otherwise we're not gonna be on a remotely unified front.
All right, fine then.
No,
don't change it.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, just for the purposes of making a mock table, like,
For
I'm
the
not gonna
purpose of it
ignore your
not taking
results in
an
the
additional
future. If it
45
hits, it
minutes.
hits. But I'm just saying, like, this is counteracting any ability of us being unified ever. So don't worry
It's
about it.
okay.
I'm just letting you
It's
know
okay.
because stuff
Someone's
like
gotta
Danny
have someone in
-5.
their corner.
Oh, dude, I really hope that Shell keeps the triple bros. Oh my
The
god,
bros
Isn't it
with
a bro
bros.
action?
this could be garbage time. Both teams fully disqualified from playoffs, slugging it out.
This game needs to go first, by the way.
Yes.
You gotta get the vibes up early.
Yeah, I'm going it to the OGs, man. He's been running it since the start.
Is it alright if we
I'm,
modify the schedule from like a most watchable to least watchable, or like
I'm-
least watchable to most watchable?
That's the goal. We're gonna have all the
Okay.
games that have playoff implications at the end. This
Okay.
this will be shuffled.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a raw tie. Just a hunch.
Garrett.
Is this Adam Shell? Oh, god damn.
This could be 6 bros on the field.
Mario is a better captain. Oh God, 6 bros in the field. There's no way that this is gonna be a tie. It's gonna be a blowout in one direction. I just gotta send it. I'll get God Adam plus 10. I just realized that. I'll give
He's
it
been
to
running
Adam
it
and
all season.
I'll give it to Adam and I'll give it. I think we're gonna have like maybe our first 25 goal series.
All
But
for
I'll give it to Adam. No, that's the one. Yep, Adam plus 25. That's it. I meant total, but sure. I'll give it to him, but I'll give it to him on a +3. I do think the scores are going to be like 10-7 and then like 8-5.
I hope so. This is like the all-star game. I really hope that Shell doesn't make any changes. I hope not. Because I want to see this. Freddy, what do you have?
I'm gonna go. I'll go Shell +3. Because while
Equally
Adam,
likely probability.
Yeah.
I'll say it equally. I truly just think that Mario might be a stronger captain. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean he is, but you never know with the
It's
bros
the only thing I can go off of.
We go to what will very likely be another triple versus triple matchup of Eric versus David. We got the Toads versus the Shy Guys. This could, literally decide both of these two teams' fates, especially looking at David's last matchup. He probably has to get a win here. If not a tie, just because he plays Jacob in his other game. Last time was the first time I ever predicted or said anything remotely positive about David, and it did not pay off. Partially for my own preservation, but I do think that he will be the odd man out going into playoffs. So you know what? I'm gonna give it a tie. There's just no way to tell. There's no way to know. And I think the Shy Guys score more goals. I'm going +2. Ham, what you got?
Slept on the Toads long enough. Give me Dave.
What you got?
Give me 3.
Garrett?
Give me Dave, make it 2.
Oh man. That'll really muddy up the playoff picture if he wins this. That's bad for all of us.
Yeah.
Freddy?
Eric +2.
All right. Colin versus Shell. I'm going Colin. And I'm gonna go
Below 5, I'm upset.
What'd you say?
If the number's below 5, I'm upset.
I'm gonna go +4. What are you doing, Ham?
Colin +7.
Hold on. I like how neither Colin nor Shell
That's
win.
not. I'm not winning that game.
Ham was gonna win.
Hamilton's gonna win it.
What were you saying, Freddy?
Huh?
He was pointing out that you typed my name.
Gotcha. Garrett, what do you have?
Colin and Shell. God, what scenes it would be if Shell decided that it mattered to win that game. Give me Colin. Give me Colin by 3.
Ready?
I don't think it'll be a friendly game, but I don't think it'll be a blowout.
I believe in underdogs. Give me Shell +2.
Obscene.
If Freddy hits, he has picked it.
We have indeed gotten into like the +1,000,000.
These are all wins. Every game is a win.
It's not
and
just a single
almost
tie.
every one is the
Except for
underdog.
Austin Jacob, because I can't pick between my brothers.
Yeah. Oh my god. If Freddy's right, then we have no idea what the table's gonna
But
look
also,
like.
There is no playoff picture. We all just lose.
we called a lot of ties last week, and we had more wins than ties. So
That is true. That also is the only time that's happened. But it has. I'm curious. We'll have to do the numbers, but I think actually that will tilt. It's pretty balanced across the whole season for wins and ties. I think it's only probably like 1 or 2 in the direction of ties versus wins.
Really?
Yeah, because most weeks go 4 of 8. And then there was 1 week of 6 wins, 1 week of 2 wins, and then the other 2 were like maybe 3. But like this is 4 of 8. This was 6 of 8. This was 2 of 8. So it's balanced now. Still balanced. minus. Well, it's 1 advantage for tie. So there's only been 1 more tie this season than win. Ham, what you got?
Tie. Raw.
Raw tie. Garrett.
The Colin David matchup. I'll give it to Colin. I'll give it to him by. I don't know if it'll be particularly close either. I'll give it to him by 4.
And Freddy.
Dave is going balls to the walls. I'm doing against Colin. Dave plus 15.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We've reached lunacy.
No, I'm kidding. No, but I still do predict Dave. But just -3.
-3. That would be a convincing win to end Colin's season. Granted, I don't think that game's going to be at the last game. This schedule will be heavily manipulated for the sake of viewership. But it will be very entertaining. So these are our Preds for the last week, all 16 games. It's going to be crazy. I have no idea how this is going to pan out. I will try and make a predictive table based off this. Sorry, Fred. But
just
you will look like a genius if your Preds hit. So on that note, I think that is a wrap for week 6. By the next time we do this, we will have a fully fledged standings, and we will be talking about the prospective playoff bracket. We'll probably end up going into the format and explaining that once we get there. But it is going to look very different. Instead of playing for wins or ties, we will just be playing straight up for the win. We'll be playing best of 3s or best of 5s. So there will be a lot to talk about because it's going to be a completely different game. Does anyone have any parting words of wisdom as we close out this week?
Colin, I'm sorry.
That is very wise. And on that note, peace, y'all.
I love it.